Good evening. A very warm welcome back to everybody. Sorry it's slightly late. A couple of little gremlins in the system. Hopefully the picture's looking good, and if you could let me know about the sound as well, that would be awesome. So, we are back. This evening it is the Backwards Championship now. It sounds complicated, but it isn't, trust me. It's absolutely fine, don't worry. I will explain everything that I know about it so that we can understand it together, okay? What I want to do is very quickly introduce you to the track. If you haven't been on Imola before, it's a beautiful track, so it is. We are racing here for 45 minutes tonight. There's no qualifying. As soon as free practice is finished, we're straight into the race. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a build up to what the track is like in terms of the information, okay? It is 4.9 kilometers in total. The first foundation stone was laid in March 1950. That's how old this actual circuit is. It has been transformed over the years, but this is the main building block was then with Enzo Ferrari himself, who was present. However, it wasn't until October 1952 that the first testing could take place. So it's 2 years to build a track. Let's face it, that isn't actually too bad. It does have a bit of sadness that's connected to it as well, and as much as it's sadness, it's history as well, so it's something that I remember. 1994, it was called the San Marino Grand Prix. Rubens Barrichello, who was lucky to emerge from light injuries when he crashed, which was his Jordan Hart car at the time, if you're old enough to know that. The following day, Roland Ratzenberger was killed when he crashed. When he went into the race itself, spectators were injured with debris from a start line collision. Some of the debris ended up going into the crowd. Then one of Formula One's biggest stars, Ayrton Senna, suffered fatal injuries on this track. So it does have sadness, but there are also good memories with it. It is an amazing track to drive. It's got long straights, it's got technical corners, and it's got 2 lots of chicanes as well. So in July 2020, it was announced that the deal had been struck for Formula One to return. And if you remember from last year, the race was cancelled because of flooding in the general area. I don't think the track was flooded, it was just a general area. So, the last thing I want to tell you is the GT3 record for real life racing is 1 minute 40.375. Nicky Thim in Aston Martin in 2022 with the GT World Challenge Europe. So there we go. Good evening, Strange. Evening, Neo. How's your hand? Owen, it's going to be so good to see you racing, my friend. Zane's my very good friend. How are you? Christopher Lobo, I have no idea what you're... I think is the music you were talking about. I don't know. So, this is going to be interesting. So, what has happened last night, all of the people went into qualifying. Qualified as usual. However, there is a little twist to what this backwards is. So, have you popped the blisters yet? Sorry for anyone who's eating their dinner just now, but this is quite a serious question. How's the audio sounding? Is everything okay? So, last night, the qualifying, Rhino's lurking. Good evening, Rhino, my good friend. I hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. So, last night, Jean-Sebastien Casingina, he qualified first. Elias Fernando was second. Owen, who is third. Bruno Bataglin was fourth. Stephen Hood fifth. Gwenal Garul was sixth. Tippy Boss seventh. Veal Vurenin was eighth. Darren Williams ninth. And David Dvorak was 10th. Now they all get points It actually goes down to 12th place gets points. So 20 points for the first and 2 points for the last. Now what happens is the grid gets reversed. And it becomes interesting. So it does. Right, let me quickly do that. Okay, so we're going to focus. So at the moment, the fastest people are at the back of the grid. Neo, you refuse to? Oh, come on, Neo. I hope everyone who's watching can smash that like button for us, please. Zanes, you're okay apart from having to deliver to 6 different caravans at a caravan park. Oh man, I suppose at least they were all in one area, so you weren't driving too much. Rhino, my brother, thank you so much for popping in. Hope you're doing well, hope your day's going well. Hope you're not too late for work. So, yes, this is going to be an interesting race. Very, very interesting. The fastest cars at the back trying to get through and past to get to the front again. Okay, 45-minute race, no pit stops required, so all of these drivers can basically just race as hard as they can for as long as the tyres will go, but there's no refueling and there's no tyre requirements. Okay, we'll get into it a bit more once things start. But this is looking interesting, so it is. I hope you're excited as I am. We're going to focus on Owen at the moment. Owen's sitting 10th at the moment. I think there's a few people who haven't been able to make it tonight, so the pack's smaller, but that doesn't mean it's going to be any less interesting. These drivers are very, very quick, so they are. I know personal experience how quick Owen is. It's scary at times, so let's see how everyone can do tonight. How is everyone in the chat? It's Friday. If you work Monday to Friday, it's awesome. It means you now have some days off and you can forget about work. If you are a shift worker, it's probably like a Wednesday to you or something like that. So yeah. Strange, yeah, you're okay? Good, good. Rhino, no, it was fairly on time. I nearly fell off my chair. What? You were almost on time. Zanes, no, they were not in one area. It's the 3rd biggest park in the country. Oh! Don't think you can park that there, sir. You need to move your car. No, not quite sure what was going on there, but you know. These are the things we need to worry about when we are sim racing. So Daryl Longer Name, is sitting in P1 at the moment and is going to take the green light. Looking quite cool, Cameron and Collected at the moment. Now this is a very long straight, so they need to be under a certain speed, which I believe is 70 kilometers an hour. But they need to stay within a box area, which means they can't get too close to the car in front and they can't lose too much time at the back. It has to be a rolling grid, as it would be if they were stopped and it was stationary. So we're going to see the red lights at the top there of the Horden, so we are ready to go. There we go, and we are off. It's a green. I'm going to quickly nip back to Fernando and let's see, is there any contact coming up? First chicane, 3 wide at the moment, going into the first chicane. That is brave. Oh, I think there was maybe a bit of contact with the Lambo there and the Ferrari. Everybody seems to be through quite cleanly. So we're back with Daryl now. Daryl's lost a few places. Oh, there's contact between him and the Ferrari. Oh, hold the brake. Oh, look. Well, I don't know what's going on with Chris Lim is in the middle of the track. So top 4 are quite close together. There's a small gap. You can see the Aston pulling out, trying to get past the Ferrari, yellow Ferrari there. We've already got a drive-through for Dvorak, which is not going to help his race at all. In fact, it could be quite a hindrance for him. David Dvorak, who's sitting 14th in the championship at the moment. Now it's only been one race. This is round 2 of it. However, tonight I think we're going to find out who the quick drivers are and who the drivers are to watch. So presently Dvorak unfortunately, he is leading. So he is. He's quickly followed by Garul. 0.3 of a second. As you can see, very close. Now remember from the last race, the BMW is very, very quick. It's a lot of torque. So it gets off very quickly. So it does. Hello, good evening, Older Drive. How are you doing? Thank you very much for popping in. Please, guys, remember to smash that like button. It really helps the channel, and you guys are doing your bit as the drivers are doing their bit. And it's very close as a gap between Garul and Vurinen. I do apologise if I butcher people's names. At the moment, things are looking not too bad. We've got Stephen Hood in P7. Owen Cripps is now in P5. So Owen has went from back of, well, 10th up to 5th in the space of 1 lap. So, again, this is really interesting stuff. Zane's no, they were not in... Oh, I've read that one already. Lobo, Christopher Lobo. Sorry, it's only in English, please. I struggle to speak English as it is. Oh, heavy over the sausage curbs there. That would have unsettled the car. Would have meant he had to watch as putting his foot down on the throttle. Now he's got a drive-through to deal with, and I'm sure it's 3 laps he's got to deal with that drive-through. So at the moment, Garul is basically just looking to see when he can take over P1. Now, he also has Pateron, who is in the Ferrari behind him, and there's also the BMW. This is very close racing. Now, is Vorak going to pull into the pits? Surely he's past the pits and he's continuing. That is interesting. So it is. What would your strategy be, chat, if you had a drive-through? Would you go for as long as you could? He only has 1 lap remaining to get in and do the drive-through. Oh, we've got contact. The 2 BMWs into the chicane. Oh, it's all getting a bit heated. Very, very close together. You can see from back in the Ferrari and Vurinen's view, he has Owen Cripps all filling up his wing mirror at the moment. That was very close. I mean, the heavy braking going into the first chicane does allow you to be able to snatch a place, but if you don't get through cleanly, you end up side by side. A touch on the grass there unsettled the car. He needs to be careful. That's a very good place to end up with track warning. Owen just pushing his nose up alongside, but not quite enough to claim that spot. So at the moment, he's been very careful, Vurinen. And P1, 2 and 3 are really, really close. There's nothing between them at the moment. Owen's got a better drive out of that corner. He's, again, all over the back bumper of the car. Look how close he is. Is he going to go for this inside? He's going for it. He's going heavy on the brakes, and he makes it. Oh, the Ferraris went off. And Vurinen comes back again, and he's through a little bit of a touch, I think. That's then pushed Owen back into the grasp of the McLaren, who is now side by side. This is really good top-notch racing, so it is. All doing very similar times as well. Now, Owens, unfortunately, he went from gaining 1 place to losing 2 places. He's alongside again, but he knows Owen's an experienced driver, so he knows not to push the boundaries. Oh, Petrolhead, how you doing? How you doing, Petrolhead? It's good to see you in the chat. Thank you very much. Christopher Lobo, no problem. Are you a big Pateron fan? Doing very well in P2 at the moment. Good drive out that hairpin corner. It's got that Ferrari very close, and you can see Cripps is side by side with that McLaren again. And he's got past the McLaren. That is good to know. So our leader at the moment, who is Garul, Vorak has obviously went in to take the drive-through that was served on him. I'm assuming that's speeding at the start of the race. I think that's possibly a game in-game penalty rather than a steward. We do have live stewarding tonight as well, so we do. So at the moment, Garul is sitting in 6th position in the championship, so this really could help their opportunity of moving up the table, but needs to be very close, very careful, because Pateron is close. It just takes a second to dip a tyre or to miss your braking zone or accelerate just too early, and before you know it, you're losing places. So at the moment, P4 is actually holding the fastest lap with a 1:43.002. So Fernando really is trying to get close to Vernon again, and Fernando has got past Vernon as I speak. So Fernando is in the McLaren. Oh my god, there's contact between 3 cars. That has absolutely demolished some people's races there. Fernando passing and has now ended up into the kitty litter. That was not a good idea. You really need to give each other space when you can. The BMWs at the moment powering ahead. There's a 2.6 gap between P2 and P3. Now, bear in mind, P3, Vernon is in the Ferrari, and Stephen Hood is in the Aston. And it looks like Stephen's got a bit of company to watch out for as well. A 5-second penalty to 403 for causing a collision. So Pateron has now got a 5-second penalty. Tippy Boss is in 7th place. He has got a 10-second penalty. That the penalties are coming out. Again, live stewarding, so the stewards look at all this information and try and work out who was at fault. Was it a racing incident, or was it actually an at fault to blame incident? So at the moment, Fernando really is trying to chase down that Aston Martin. Aston's went middle of the road going into the chicane, obviously just trying to protect his line and make sure that McLaren doesn't sneak up on the inside. Neil, guess what? Tell me, my friend. Christopher, yeah, he is the best. Awesome. It must be, for a driver, it really must be upsetting to see that 5-second penalty handed out to you. So there you go. There's now almost a second. There is now a second gap between Garul and Pateron. A 5-second penalty would push him back into 4th position at this point if the race finished like this. That's got to be weighing on in his mind as he's trying to chase down. But now it's almost up to 2 seconds now. So Garul is really, he's getting a bit untidy through the chicane there. Those sausage curbs on both sides of the chicane, if you don't get them right as you're trying to get your racing line, they will upset the car, they will rotate the car. If you're braking as you hit one of the sausage curbs, it puts the car into horrible spin. So everything needs to be tidy going through. There's 2 chicanes in this race that we've obviously seen quite a lot of incidents, shall we say. So having a look at Owen at the moment, Owen's back in 8th. He's got Tippy Boss, who he knows very well. And Owen has got a 15-second penalty. Tippy has still got his 10-second penalty. So stewards are very busy in this race. So at the moment, I'm going to go back to Fernando because very, very close to Stephen. Aston Martin trying to be as big and wide as possible. Mr. Mandalese, how are you? Have you recovered from your win the other night? It's good to see you in the chat. Everybody, please, if you could hit that like button, it would mean so much to me and the rest of the Toga community. Blue flag getting waved there. McLaren a little bit squirrely coming out of there on the throttle, and McLaren is getting, Christopher Lim has pulled off so that he's not interfering. I'm assuming, I don't know whether he's had a network issue or a hardware issue, but we saw what happened to his car, so we did. Again, the McLaren, oh, you can see how it unsettles the car. It really sets, if you get it on your left hand side wheels, it basically tips your car up, so you have only 2 wheels on the ground. Not a good position. Now the Aston's having a look round the outside at the moment, but is he going for the cutback here? Getting your foot on the power quickly really sets this up, because you've got a long straight. If you're on the power quicker before the other driver in front of you, you've got a great drag down to the first chicane. Now you can see the Aston getting close, but not really enough to do anything. Now he's filling the mirrors on McLaren. He's just trying to put Fernando off just now. In fact, what am I saying? I've just realised, commentator, well done. I just realised that Stephen was ahead of Vuorinen, so that he's obviously got past at some point just before the chicane. So my apologies, I got that absolutely wrong. You missed the start, David. Oh man, it was interesting, but you can obviously watch it back later on. You're all good, thanks. You see a lot of penalties. Wow, there are a lot of penalties, so there are. So now Vuorinen is stretching his legs away from the Aston Martin there, and he's got a better drive from the Ferrari. What is going to happen here? A little bit away, yeah, and quite mature driving there. Braked slightly early because he realised he didn't want to run into the back of the Ferrari or do something that would affect his race. So that was very, very good indeed. So coming down, heavy braking. You see the Ferrari slightly mid-track there, just making sure it's as wide as possible. Another good bit of traction through that corner there. But the Ferrari is quick. You can see how the Ferrari is actually pulling away at the moment. The McLaren 720 Evo is a really good car, but it's all to do with the setups as well. Everybody were running their own setups that they've spent time doing, or they have had someone to help them with it. Because anyone who does sim racing knows cars are not easy to set up at all. So they're not. Neo, you have left me hanging. I don't know what you're saying, but guess what? Oh, again, better drive. Coming up to this hairpin bend on the outside. Is he going to go for the switchback now? He needs to watch that. Aston is trying to take advantage there. And again, McLaren just showing the grunt that it can power away from the Aston Martin. But that was such a good exit on the corner. This is a kind of dab of the brakes, but if you go beyond the white line, the right hand side there, which is very easily done, you'll get a warning for track limits. You get 3 warnings and then you get a penalty. Beautifully done there. And again, you can see there's a couple of corners that Fernando is so much better. There's damage on that Ferrari as well, so is that going to hinder them? Again, so Fernando's got the better line, he's got the straighter racing line. You can see the Ferrari struggling there with the power. It had to go over the curbs in a different way that's not ideal line, unsettles it, and then has issues when accelerating out. Heavy braking again. Now again, if Fernando can get a good drive out of this last corner, he really is in a chance of getting. He's close, he's getting close. And you can see how close the McLaren is. Just not quite. Getting some slipstream, but really not enough there. So as they come down to the chicane, they're side by side, but it looks like the Ferrari's still got, again, a lot of damage on that Ferrari. I wonder if that's part of the reason of the 5-second penalty that Bataglin's got. But look at this, the Aston Martin has not given up in the slightest. You can see filling the mirrors on McLaren. Now that's going to play into the hands of Vuorinen, because the more you're looking in your mirrors, looking behind you, the more the car in front of you is just stretching away, pulling away. It really is. If you're stuck in the middle, it's not the most comfortable place in the world to be on a racetrack when you're in between two cars. But again, very, very close. And the race down to this double right-hander. Again, Ferrari going a little bit mid-track. I think possibly just trying to make themselves as wide as possible. Now drag downhill, and you see again McLaren. It is always a good thing to try and fill your opponent's mirrors, because it distracts them. They see it out the corner of their eye. There's a screen on a dashboard which is a camera pointing backwards. Everything plays into your hands if you're the car behind, because you can just annoy, you can frustrate, and you can see the Ferrari goes onto the gravel there. Now we've got a train going on. 4 different car manufacturers as well. So the Ferrari, wow, I thought he had maybe lost the place. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Zanes. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So Pride Co, who was racing in the Rookie League on Wednesday night, is currently holding the fastest lap at 142.625. That is... Now Owen's come in, he's got 25-second penalty. That's letting Tippy Boss now drive off a bit more. There you go. Now Tippy looks like he's got a custom livery on, and I'm guessing Airy Fasttail maybe the person that's done that. Talking about Airy, here he is with his own custom design. If you are in the Toga community and you're looking to have a custom livery, please have a look at Airy Fasttail. So talented in what he does. He's also a staff member as well. Hayden, good evening. How was the qualifying? How did it go? We've had a very interesting race so far. So with Owen now, he's still in the pits. He's still showing us in the pits at the moment. So 25 seconds in the pits, not changing tyres, not getting fuel. It feels like a lifetime. It absolutely feels like a lifetime. So let's go back, because it looks like this train is not letting up in any way, shape and form. Puff of gravel as the Mercedes gets a little bit out of shape. Oh, rain. Oh, that sounds horrible. Absolutely. Rain at Spa, who would ever have thought it? Oh, Mercedes having a look, but again, the Aston in the middle of the track. Not much room either side. I mean, these cars are the size of a normal road-going car, but they've got added wings and spoilers. And again, that Mercedes all over the back of the Aston. Now, what's going to happen here when they come to the hairpin? Mercedes is going ultra wide. I thought he was maybe going for the cutback there, but it looked like they were going to try it. He's going for the outside. That was a very brave move to pull that off. Owens packed it in. Oh well. Again, filling the mirrors of the Aston. Now, remember what I said a couple of minutes ago about if you're defending, the car in front of you just starts to drive away from you because you're too busy concentrating on behind you. And this is exactly a prime example. Stephen Hood is now 1 second behind. And look, McLaren again, all over the back of this Ferrari. I'm going to assume that Fernando is really studying his opponent. Oh, the Ferrari for some reason goes onto the grass, and some racers know the pain if someone comes into the room or tries to speak to you, and all of a sudden your whole concentration, everything goes. So the McLaren's got an amazing drive out it. Not quite side by side, but very, very close. Again, I don't know, me personally, I'm not an amazing driver, but I would have stuck behind that Ferrari all the way. Oh, a little bit unsettling. Those, again, sausage curbs, or the almost like sleeping policemen we call them in the UK. They just unsettle the car. You get it wrong. And again, oh, Ferrari, a bit of oversteer going on now, looking for the inside line. That looks like he's got it. Oh! Now it's a drag race up the hill. Now it is an utter drag race. Again, though, the Ferrari's got the legs on the McLaren. Oh, so close there with the braking. Has that unsettled? Now, the driver might... That spooks you when a driver in front of you brakes when you're not expecting them to. So we've had a couple of 5-second penalties handed out in the past couple of minutes. The stewards must own a huge pack of pens, because I can only imagine what pain they go through when they're having to analyse everything. The Aston's got an amazing drive through that chicane, but the Aston just doesn't seem to have the top end speed. McLaren, obviously, Evo, it's a newer design, or an updated design of the first original McLaren 720. Ferrari's gone! It looks like that's it, yes! And it looks like the Aston's looking for it now as well. So, this is all now starting to get real exciting. Remember, people, this Ferrari is just... Look at it. Look at the draft that's getting off the McLaren, off the back wing. And again, side by side coming into the chicane. But again, the McLaren's going for the safe line in terms of blocking the Ferrari. But and when I say block, I mean in a general way. I don't mean in an illegal way. Look at the Aston up the side. Nope, not quite. But again, now the roles have turned. Vurunen has now got a mirror full of Aston Martin. Oh, and he goes for a bit of a lunge there. I don't know if that was out braking or what was going on, but it's certainly looking interesting. Now we're coming up to this left hand. It's a dab of the brakes, but you need to be slowing the car down enough. You don't get a track limit, but fast enough. You carry enough speed. And we're coming down to the fast right-handers, and it's heavy braking. Trying to get a straight line through that you're not going to unsettle the car. Neo he was hella delayed as per above. The takeaway got delayed again. Oh no! Oh, the takeover got delayed. Oh man, that takeover's worse than like $1 billion takeover. Now the McLaren's got a bit, he's got just about a second head start, or sorry, a second lead of the Ferrari. So that is, he can now drive off into the sunset. So he can. This looks like the Ferrari, if not careful. Now bear in mind, yeah, the Ferrari could end up slipping further back. And again, there is damage on the car, so we don't know how much that damage is affecting the drive of the car. But certainly it's looking that way. So let's go to Ing. He's got a 10-second penalty as well in the Lambo. And chasing down Airy Fasttail in car 17. Now that Lambo's got a bit of damage on it as well, but I don't think that will affect it too much. So Airy kind of knows he even could let the Lambo go, because the Lambo's got 10-second penalty. You know, chat, tell me how you would deal with this. The car behind you, and oh, now we're talking. Got side by side going up the hill, and he's got past. So Ing takes 8th place in that Lambo, but again 10 seconds. So at the moment, Airy could see himself in 7th place with these two penalties. Chat, what would you do if you were driving the car? If you're driving Fasttail's Aston Martin, would you let the Lambo go, as in you wouldn't fight the Lambo too much, because you know they've got 10 seconds. As long as you're within that 10 seconds, it's fine. You've got that place back by the end of the race. And David Predko in P6 is some interesting data for the rookie Wednesday round 4. Yeah, it's now up to 5th place. So he's got past the Aston Martin as well. Unfortunately, didn't see that. Terrible directing. But yeah, so that Mercedes is now preying down onto the Ferrari. And you can see the McLaren is just a way off. Now, Pradco is sitting with the fastest lap, with a 142.152. Yeah, I think the rookie season might be over for them by the looks of it, David. The battle is real. And I don't really want to go away from this because this is looking really interesting. So, the Ferrari kind of left the door open, almost like an invitation. Oh, there's a little bit of touch there, but it was more a kiss than a racing incident. But again, look at the Mercedes. Looking down the inside, but again, I think more of a distraction. Oh, Ferrari's getting sideways. Now, the thing is, bearing in mind, they have now driven for coming up in 30 minutes on tyres. Now, if you are driving at your maximum and the maximum capacity of the car, your tyres are going to be shredded by the end of it. This is where do you look after your tyres and suffer a bit of pain, and then halfway through, or the last third of the race, do you then try and drive the tyres off the car? It really is difficult to say. David, if they have good pace, you try to stick behind as close as possible so to get the advantage of his pace and his penalty. Yes, absolutely. As I say, Airy is looking at Ing in 8th and Tippy Boss in 7th. At the moment, Tippy Boss is just out with the kind of 10 seconds. So Airy at least is going to pick up P8. But again, the Mercedes, again, trying to go round the outside, but then that's pushing them back, straight back into Stephen Hood's position. This is exciting stuff, so it is. Owen packed in for good reason. Yeah, it didn't look like a happy race for you, I'm afraid. Now the Aston, this is interesting. So the Mercedes has went from fighting, I was a bit late in the brakes, or was the Ferrari maybe a bit quick? But look at the Aston. The Aston is now filling the mirrors of the Mercedes. The Hunter has now become the prey from this. And it's not comfortable to go from that position as Christopher pulls over and lets the faster cars through. That was just a look. That was just to fill mirrors. That look. That wasn't an intentional overtake or attempt. But again, Mercedes is now starting to pull forward again. So maybe the last sector of this track is better set for the Mercedes, and the first and second sector are better suited for Ferrari and Aston. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. But again, this is a long straight. The Mercedes isn't anywhere near close enough to start enjoying that slipstream. And as much as it's a long straight, it goes past very quickly. So it does. Especially when you are driving the cars at 270 kilometers an hour. Again, Mercedes is really up there now. Ferrari again, I don't know if his tyres have gone. Oh, I think the Ferrari's tyres are maybe done. It looks like he's struggling with oversteer going out the corners. Now the Mercedes, he's had to brake twice there. But yeah, again, he's coming up to this corner now. They have been side by side before in this corner. Try and go on the outside, but it just doesn't work. And now puts the Mercedes back into the position of the Aston, looking for that overtake. Oh, and even though the incidents you caused was partly to blame, you don't think you're fully to blame, but never mind. It's just some days it's just not meant to be. But look at this now. Aston Martin saying thank you. I would really like to take that P5 just now from you, please. The Lambo of Tippy has now joined this pack as well. So this Ferrari of Vuorinen certainly looks like it's the head of the train for multiple trains that we've had in this race. Again, now is he going to go for this one? Again, on the outside. Oh, he's obviously better on the braking, but the Ferrari, I thought the Ferrari was maybe going to go wide there. Now you want a good drive out of here. Aston's had a good drive. Yep. It's a flash of the lights. Trying to get in their head, but this looks like it could be coming. Is he going to be close enough for a look? Again, sensible from Stephen there for just back off and not end up the Mercedes. Oh, was so close to be taking that place. Prideco, who again raced in the rookie season on Wednesday there, really fighting hard for this P4. And at the moment, and again, better drive out. Oh, maybe a little bit of touching going on there. And oh, he's went wide. He's went off onto that grass. Oh, that is not comfortable. Look at the places that he's just hemorrhaged there. Oh, just one mistake, and that's what I was saying at the start of this race. One mistake can ruin your race. Looks like his tyres. Now, when you go off in the grass, you end up collecting grass, you collect dirt, you collect gravel. For a period of time after that, a lap, 2 laps, your tyres are dirty. So you can't get on the power. You cannot get on the brakes as hard as you were doing before. So we're back with the train again. But it looks like Tippy is now in amongst all that. Tippy has managed to get himself up behind Vuuranen. Now let's have a quick look and see. Again, everybody, the Ferrari's going, oh no! Tippy had to pull out that one there. Oh, a bit oversteer there. And bear in mind, Tippy's got a 10-second penalty against his name, so that double left-hand corner is tricky. You need to get a good entry into it, but as soon as you've entered that corner, you're then thinking of the next corner because that comes on you really quickly. Look at the Lambo and the, oh, Mercedes! That looked very, very close there. Let's have a look from Prideco's car. Now again, sensible backing off, not trying to force the issue. The Lambo's on the gravel, so that slowed him down a little bit. Prideco really goes round the outside a lot. And that's understandable when your opponent is going defensive all the time. You have only one other part of the track to go to. Alongside each other for this one, now he's sensibly pulled out of that. If he had been forced wide, he would have suffered a warning for track limits, I'm pretty sure of that. Tippy looks like he's still very close. Let's see the position from here. So again, Tippy, yep, sticking close, and again, Tippy's not somebody who to rush into a move that will cause him problems or the other driver, so staying with it. Heavy braking again, but this time Vuuranen is not going defensive, so is able to take the racing line, which then gives him the same advantage. So it is. So let's have a look. This is equally matched cars, so it's difficult. Looks like Tippy's got a bit of the drive coming out of there. We'll go to the helicam because then we can see it. But oh, the Lambo up the inside. Now I don't know if Prideco had managed to get past the Lambo and that's the Lambo retaking it, but it's certainly this is really good racing, so it is. David's so bad to say this, but you believe he can recover? Yes, absolutely. Very close battles. And again, 2 Ferraris, an Aston, a Lambo and a Mercedes. So we've got 4 manufacturers out of 5 cars. This is really good. This is what you want to see. Battles like this. You don't want to see somebody who just runs off into the distance. Oh, now it looks like Tippy's getting a bit of oversteer is coming out. That's pushing him into the clutches of the Aston Martin a little bit, but it's all about the drive. It's all about the exit on a corner. Again, Tippy just filling that passenger side mirror. But again, look at this train. It's a concertina effect. especially going into something like the heavy braking, where, you know, the second car, third car and fourth car all catch up with the first car, but as soon as they're out, first car is on the power earlier. Now it looks like Prideco's going for it. Oh, he's made that stick. He has absolutely made that stick. The Lambo's poking his nose there just to see if they can get it. Prideco had such a good exit. He's obviously been well on the brakes and straightforward on the racing line and on the throttle quick. Look at the way he's just pulling away. So at the moment we're looking at, there's a 10-second gap between P1, who's Garul, and P2, who's Bataglan. Now Fernando, who's in P3, has only 2.2 seconds away from Bataglan. Now Bataglan has got a 5-second, looks like 10 seconds now. Let's go and have a look actually. Yeah, so Bataglan's got a 5-second penalty at the moment. So it looks like he's going to possibly lose that P2, but may still come P3, and considering that his car's damaged and everything else, that is pretty good going. Let's have a look here. We've just got cars everywhere. I mean, now this looks like Prideco having a look for a Tippy boss. Tippy had a slow exit there. I don't know if he had oversteer, but again, each driver given... Oh, Tippy's... Oh, no! Oh, no. That was... Tippy lost the car, but then became collected with the other cars. Unavoidable to a certain degree for the other drivers when you're so close together. Christopher Lowe, 10 seconds? No, 5 seconds, sorry. I thought it was 10 seconds. Hayden's turned Scottish. So again, this is a battle in the mid. I'm having a look at the other splits and really not, there's nothing close battling as we have here now. Airy Fasttail's hunting down Stephen Hood for this. Now remember, Ing has got a 10-second penalty, Tippy Boss has got a 10-second penalty. Airy really doesn't need to worry about them. He can drive off into the sunset and not worry about this. What he's wanting to do is catch up to that other Aston, cause issues for Stephen, who's trying to cause issues for Vuuranen at the moment. Now they're side by side again, so Stephen trying to do the cutback. He's got a better drive out that corner. Look at that. The Aston Martin just pulling away as if it's effortless. That was the epitome of how to do an overtake. Well done, Mr. Hood. That was superlative. Now what he wants to do is try and ease a gap. What he would love is Airy Fasttail to get on the back of that Ferrari, cause the Ferrari issues, and then he can just drive off without any real concerns. Ferrari at the moment is still very, very close. This battle is not finished yet, and we've still got 5 minutes left of the 45 minutes. It looks like Ferrari's got a really good exit here. Now what's going to happen? Is Stephen going to go defensive? Yep. Defensive, which hurts his racing line, which means that Vuuranen is there to take it. That is, yep, so Airy is definitely catching Vuuranen. Airy sitting in P6, that's good. That is good. This is a high class of driver, as Toga Motorsport is. It's all about safety, following the rules, and making sure that it's sensible racing as much as it is hard racing on one go. Now it looks like car 1, which I'm going to guess is Prideco. Prideco has had a few what looks like penalties handed out, so Prideco is now sitting with 10 seconds as well. That is really going to hurt his race. So it is. Now Stephen's not been able to get rid of Vuuranen behind him. But again, all Stephen needs to do is hit the racing line, hit your braking point at every braking point, accelerate as soon as you can without accelerating too quick. It sounds, I make it sound easy, but Cameron Stewart, what nationality? Alba on top. Good evening, Cameron. How are you doing? You looking forward to your weekend? What's everybody's plans in chat for the weekend? Have you got any exciting plans? Now, Tippy's now P12 and still has that 10-second penalty, so that's sore. Aston looked like it was drifting round the corner, and you can see this is now really hurt Stephen. This is the worst place you could possibly have drifted round the corner. You've lost your traction, you've burnt your tyres up, and the car behind you has got such a better grip. Now it looks like this move has been made. Pick that one up off the floor, Mr. Vuorinen. He's not away from it yet, but again, Stephen Hood filling the mirrors. He knows what happened. As sim racing drivers, we all know what we did wrong. It's about getting that moment out of your head and concentrating the race. There's no point in dwelling on a mistake you made, because it's not going to help any way, shape and form. So again, this is Aries now got Ing behind him again, but again, Ing has got a 10-second penalty, Prideco's got a 10-second penalty. Aries really could just do a Fernando, pull up a chair somewhere on the track and do a bit of sunbathing. Now, Stephen, oh, that's a good drive out the corner. That is an amazing drive out the corner. Vuorinen's, oh, again, your heart stops when the driver in front of you brakes earlier than you anticipate them to. And it looks like Fast Tail and Ing are side by side. There's so much to try and do. Another look up on the inside. Ing sends it. Ing has sent it. Ooh. It was trying to stop the car again that was the issue for him. Aries says, thank you very much. I'm going to take that back. However, Ing has decided, no, I'm not letting you have it. And look at Prideco. Prideco is absolutely storming up between them. 3 abreast. Look at that. Getting really close. Prideco has the outside line. And Fast Tail has braked early. And I think that is intelligent driving, because the 2 cars ahead of him have the 10-second penalty. Sensible driving. We have seen a lot of sensible driving tonight. We've also seen a few incidents, but let's go back to Stephen again and see if he can make another move on Vuorinen. This is the last lap. 25 laps altogether, and all of the racing has been at the back. But hats off to Garul, who has led a race where he's just driven away. So he has. In fact, this is the final lap. So let's enjoy a lap with Mr. Garul. Faultless driving. Again, what I said the other night really means something. Consistency. If you have a fast driver who's not consistent, another 5-second penalty to 126. 126 is Ing, so that is now a 15-second penalty that they've received. That is going to drop them down the standings. So yes, consistency. You can be a fast driver but not be consistent, or you can be consistent and slightly slower. And 9 times out of 10, the consistent driver will always be the winner of that. So as you can see, Garul has a couple of back markers. He's obviously passed Vorak and longer name already. So if you're not battling with someone, back markers aren't as much of an issue. You can pick and choose where on the track you overtake them. But if you have somebody breathing down your neck, then it's You're concentrating behind you, you're concentrating on the back marker, you're worrying what the back marker's going to do. If they don't signal, you're then guessing you're having to make a move on that car, but then you're worrying about if you get stuck somewhere, the car behind you gets past. Anyway, here we go for the checkered flag. Round 2 of the Backwards Championship. Congratulations, Garul. What a race. What a race. Now let's have a look, because Ing is still very close to Vurenin, but again, it really doesn't matter. Now at the moment, yeah, there's like Vurenin is like 30 seconds behind Pateron, so Pateron's 5-second penalty will not affect their finish, so it won't. This has been an outstanding race with some really good driving. And again, the Lambo on the last part of the straight, still looking for that position. Looks like, Wales. That's almost a camera finish, so it is. Cameron, you're looking forward to beating Hull City personally. What about you? Yeah, we've got a couple of things on over the weekend, so a little food festival and things to go to, so that's all good. So all of the drivers are back. What can I say? What can I say about that? I hope you enjoyed the racing as much as I did. So to finish, Garul P1, Fernando P2, Pateron P3, Vurenin P4, Ing P5, but he has a 15-second penalty, so that's going to drop him down probably to about 9th. Got Airy Fasttail in 6th, who's going to get promoted to P5. Prideco, who has got a 10-second penalty. Stephen Hood, who's in P8. However, Stephen's going to end up probably moving up on the championship. Amazing. What an amazing race. What I'm going to do before we go, Anita, thank you very much. I hope you're very well. I hope you're all very well. Just a reminder, and I've said it and I know I bore you by saying this, please hit that like button. It means so much to us. This elusive YouTube algorithm, it helps with that as well. So yeah, please hit that like button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a very quick 2-minute water break, since I haven't really stopped talking in 45 minutes. And we'll hopefully have a couple of drivers to interview and get their perspective on how things have finished. Yeah, so bear with me for a minute or two and enjoy the highlights of the race. Okay, sorry for that, I just need a little drink of water. We have Elias, I hope I have said that name right, Fernando, who ended up P2 and driving the McLaren. This is who we're watching just now, so I'm going to jump on and see how they're doing. Hello, good evening. Hello. I don't know if Elias has had an issue or not. Try again and see. Hello, good evening. Nope. Nope, gone. I don't know if they've had a technical issue. Oh, back again. They don't have this issue with Sky. Hello, Elias.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. What can I say? What a drive from yourself. That was very entertaining. How do you feel after the race?
Good.
Are you aware you also got the fastest lap as well?
Yes, I am aware of that.
1:42.060. Wow, some of us can only dream of that kind of time. How did the race go from your point of view? I mean, you started well down the grid.
It went really well. I was a bit stuck in traffic at the start. Behind two cars, one the Ferrari.
Yep.
Which, it was hard to get past him because he was a good defender.
Yep.
But I got past him, he did a mistake, and I just pulled away and catched up to P2 in the end. He let me past because he had a 5-second penalty.
Yep.
And it went really well.
It's I mean, outstanding. We're just watching the highlights just now. So we're as you say, I mean, you're coming up to cars, 4 cars that are 2 abreast. You know, what's going through your mind when you see that? Is it to back off, hold off, or do you think I want to get up as close as possible? What's your kind of strategy thinking?
It's like, it's just back off a bit and just watch where they are slow and where they're fast, and just try to get past when I see an opportunity.
Yep.
If they make contact or in a corner I have seen that they're slow. I don't take so much risk I don't take so much risk.
No, and
just back off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a very mature thing to do. Is not to get sucked into their battle, and then before you know it, there's contact, and it ruins everybody's race. Now, you qualified second last night. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
that's correct.
You've gained 18 points last night, and you've gained another handful of points tonight again. So that is really, you were sitting second in the championship. I think you are now going to be the leader of the championship. How does that feel?
That's really good, fantastic feeling, because I've never led a championship before.
Yep.
So that's the first time. It's just incredible.
How long have you been sim racing for?
4 or 5 months.
What?
Started in around April this year.
You do know people are now just crying in the corner of their rooms that have been doing it for like 20 years, and you come along with a few months driving and manage to do this. Wow, that is, I take my hat off to you, that is amazing. Do you manage to get a lot of practice in for the races?
I had a bit of practice yesterday, and I also drove in Imola at Sunday in the Summer GT3 series.
Yep.
So I practiced for that. So
excellent. It's good when you have races that kind of back to back each other on the same track, because although you're practicing for one, you're actually then gaining the knowledge for both races. as well. So absolutely outstanding. Certainly an amazing drive you had today. So yeah, thank you very much for popping in and giving us your thoughts. Now you can go and kind of chill out and relax a little bit, and we'll look forward to seeing you racing again.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Bye bye.
Bye.
And there we go. Wow. Oh my goodness, he's only been driving sim racing for 4 or 5 months. That gets you right in the feels. So it is. Absolutely. Okay, it's been an amazing race. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope this has been a good experience for you. Again, if you haven't, just hit that like button for us. It will do the wonders. I will be back tomorrow, lunchtime, 1 PM, British Summer Time, for the start of the 24-hour endurance at Spa. I'm going to be doing 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, so 5 hours roughly. So I really would love your company. We can chat away, we can talk about the teams, we can talk about the drivers, and we can just have a chilled out Saturday, so we can, and see how it goes, okay? So, enjoy your Friday, remember it's your weekend hopefully, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Until then, take care, bye bye.